Slick.
Wait till that start hitting that body.
Yeah.
Alvarez hit
different.
that body.
Look how slick. Mike, look how slick he is.
Oh, he's gonna get
in August of 2024 against Israel Madrimov to make him a 4-division champion. That's it. That's all. He hasn't fought since then.
With Crawford, I think gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them. If they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go rounds.
Mike Tyson cautioned Terence Crawford after appearing with Canelo Alvarez at a press event, saying Crawford is simply too small to compete with Canelo. Tyson stated there's no realistic way for Crawford to beat the Mexican champion and thinks fans aren't very interested in the bout. His remarks added heat to the pre-fight talk, sparking debate on whether the match should even take place.
That Terence Crawford is simply too small and doesn't have a chance to beat Canelo Alvarez. I am Mike Tyson. He says that this is a fight that nobody calls for. It's just simply too much of a size difference. Shannon Briggs is the believer in styles make fights, skill set, and the skill set of Canelo Alvarez versus the skill set of Terence Crawford favors the skill set of Terence Crawford, not only just to win, but to possibly stop Canelo Alvarez for the first time in his career. Now, Canelo Alvarez is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Terence Crawford is a first ballot Hall of Famer. Terence Crawford is 4-division champion, undefeated, 2-division undisputed champion. Canelo Alvarez is a 4-division champion, 2-time undisputed super middleweight champion, and reigning undisputed super middleweight world champion with a record of 63 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout.
Veteran boxer Gabe Rosado shared his take on the possible fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Rosado feels Crawford doesn't have the punching power to truly hurt Canelo. He praised Crawford's skill, movement, and accuracy, but stressed that against someone as strong and solid as Canelo, those tools might fall short. Rosado noted that Canelo has handled the shots of boxing's hardest hitters without folding, making it doubtful Crawford could cause serious damage. In his eyes, the gap in strength and toughness is a major hurdle Crawford must overcome.
So I don't see how Crawford could hurt Canelo, because Canelo's been in there with Kovalev. He's been in there with Bivol. You know what I'm saying? He's been in there with big punchers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how can a guy that's really a 47-pounder, even though he's up in weight, I don't see how he can hurt Canelo. You know what I'm saying? It just feels completely, because your body is different to absorbing a bigger blow. So, you know what I'm saying? But it's like, when I sparred the guys in the lower weight classes and they hit me, bro, it's like, no disrespect, but it just feels like you get hit with a pillow. It's just different. It could be a murderous puncher at 147, but if I'm walking around 185 and I'm a solid guy and I'm used to fighting guys, you know, with a different kind of power, and I spar a guy that's a welterweight, it feels like a pillow.
Commentator Showbiz the Adult gave a direct opinion on the matchup, saying he does not see Terence Crawford beating Canelo Alvarez. His reasoning is based on size, power, and style mismatches. Showbiz pointed out that Canelo's background against top fighters in many weight divisions has given him the skills to shut down boxers like Crawford. While he recognized Crawford's smart tactics and flexibility, he argued those traits alone wouldn't counter Canelo's power and control in the ring. To him, the fight clearly favors Canelo unless Crawford does something remarkable.
Spaceman Films. What up, Biz? Who you got? Canelo Crawford.
Yeah.
Got Canelo. Yeah. I heard the punches that he hit Charlo with. I don't know if Crawford can absorb those punches. I know he's a great man and a great warrior. When you come from 147 to put on a better fight than Charlo, I mean, I don't even know what that means. I don't know if that means that Crawford is so great and he can do that, or that means that Charlo set the bar so damn low that anybody could do better than Charlo did last night.
Do skill really pay the bill? Because that would be tested.
Pay the bill. That's why Canelo's skillful too.
Famed trainer Robert Garcia voiced concern over Crawford's choice to add a lot of weight for Canelo. Garcia said quick or heavy weight gain can hurt a fighter's speed, stamina, and sharpness. He warned the extra pounds might slow Crawford, taking away one of his best assets, his quickness. Garcia also dismissed comparisons to Floyd Mayweather, noting Mayweather never gained weight this way to fight bigger men. Instead, Floyd beat larger rivals with speed and skill, not size. Garcia believes moving to such a higher weight could disadvantage Crawford before the fight even starts.
Look, with Crawford, I think gaining too much weight and too much muscle might affect them if they're thinking of surviving and being able to take a punch and being able to go rounds, then they're trying to maybe go the distance and they'll be happy with that. But I think Crawford's natural talent, Mayweather had it. You know, you guys were just mentioning right now that he doesn't. Crawford Mayweather never needed to gain weight and never needed to be heavy to be able to beat those bigger guys. I think Crawford's skills. We give Crawford a chance because we know how good he is, how his skills, his speed, his combinations. But if he's gaining so much weight, he might not be able to do those. He might not be able to have those same skills when it comes to his speed, his footwork because of the weight. So we'll see. I just hope he's not just training and getting big to survive and go the distance because maybe that's a win for him. Maybe he's thinking if I go the distance with him, that's a big win for me. So I just hope not. I expect Crawford to actually pull up some runs and maybe even pull up the fight. But if he's too heavy, too big, he's gonna get hit, and he's gonna have to exchange punches, and that's where the danger comes in.
Gary Inchauin spoke highly of Canelo Alvarez's mastery of his craft. He called Canelo a boxer who fully knows his own strengths and uses them to the fullest in every match. In Inchauin's view, Crawford cannot simply strip away what Canelo has polished for years, from head movement to time counters and body shots. Canelo's style has been shaped against elite foes. Inchauin admitted Crawford is clever and adaptable, but said Canelo's ability to enforce his own game plan makes him a tough puzzle. He added that Canelo's confidence and efficiency make disrupting his rhythm extremely hard.
Canelo, he has mastered his style. Now, typically, Latinos, they got their own style versus melanated black people having like more rhythm, more flashiness and panache to their stuff, more swag.
Yeah.
We just fight different than other ethnicities. If you want to throw Amir Khan in there, his ethnicity, he was in and out.
Yeah, that's the European kind of style.
Textbook, but that was his style. Canelo got his style and he mastered it. Terence Crawford cannot take nothing away from him. He's like freakishly good, he go both sides, southpaw, orthodox, and I feel like he adapt well. But it don't take much to get hit, especially these little 8-ounce gloves. He cannot slip up. He gonna have to stay set from bing to bing from round 1 to 12, and he better be in shape. Yeah. I'm talking about like not 12-round shape. I'm talking about like 16-round shape.
Former champion Chris Algieri explained the difficulties fighters face when jumping to a heavier weight. He said adding size changes how a boxer moves, times punches, and keeps stamina. Algieri mentioned that even if Crawford looks bigger on fight night, it doesn't mean he'll hit harder. Fighting at a weight you're not used to can be tricky, especially versus someone who thrives at that size. Algieri believes while Crawford's skills remain elite, adapting to a heavier frame could affect him, especially late in the fight when endurance is vital.
Alvarez. So that's another aspect of that comparison. And yes, to exactly what the champ said, exactly what Abel Sanchez said, you're going to put on weight, you're going to be a different fighter. And I can say this even as a fighter as myself, as I've gotten heavier in my retirement, I try and move around the gym, it just feels different. And even when you start camp, you feel different in the beginning than you do at the end. But listen, we're still 4 or 5 weeks away. I don't know exactly what Terence is weighing right now. And even if he does say what he weighs, man, he's gone out there and said he's weighed, all types of crazy numbers just to get media to respond. So it's really not really going to know until the fight and we see these guys next to each other. He might look bigger right now, but he might not be that heavy. He might still be in the range that these guys are targeting for the fight itself. But I will say this, if you look at it historically, Floyd Mayweather, when he fought Canelo Alvarez, Floyd was 36 years old. Canelo was a young man. I think he was 21 or something like that, or 23, under 23, whatever the case may be. Floyd came in how Floyd always comes in. He didn't try to put on weight for that fight. I think he came in 150 pounds, like he always did in his big fights, and even at 36 years old. And it was his speed, it was his technical proficiency, it was his skill and his jab, which is what gave Canelo fits all night long and eventually why he lost 11 rounds to 1. So I don't know that Crawford really needs to be packing on this muscle. And I have actually argued in my own head. I'm like, yeah, but he's older. He's not Floyd. Floyd was 36 when they fought.
A boxing analyst strongly stated Canelo Alvarez will not lose to Terence Crawford. The reasoning was simple. Crawford lacks the power to hurt Canelo. And without forcing Canelo's respect, the fight turns into a steep uphill climb. The analyst also doubted Crawford could handle Canelo's heavy shots for all 12 rounds given their physical gap. With Canelo's proven chin, strength, and range control, Crawford might struggle to launch steady attacks. Respecting Crawford's record, the analyst still predicted Canelo's size and toughness will win the day.
54 pound division, the undefeated phenom. He said that he sparred Canelo Alvarez, and he hit Canelo Alvarez with his best shot. His best shot. This is a power puncher. Yeah, he's smaller than Canelo Alvarez, but let me further explain. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing. Nothing. And some of y'all gonna be like, but yo, that's Virgil Ortiz, he's smaller. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing with Triple G. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing versus Kovalev. Kovalev killed the man in the ring. Canelo Alvarez didn't feel nothing with Danny Jacobs. Canelo Alvarez wasn't even demoralized by Dimitri Bivol. He just got outboxed. He didn't hurt Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez, you see how he say Iron Mike Tyson? Well, Canelo Alvarez has an iron chin. Terence Crawford, and also, put it this way, also, after the fight with Jermell Charlo and Canelo Alvarez, and I spoke to Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo basically said that, yo, Canelo Alvarez couldn't feel my punches. I hit Canelo Alvarez with 2 left hook and he didn't even feel nothing. Jermell Charlo was Iron Man Jermell Charlo, the 154-pound undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's not active right now, but we all know he was an undisputed, a knockout artist that got all his belt by knocking out every opponent to become undisputed, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez has gotten hit with the most devastating punches in his generation, 175 and 160. Fought the likes of Kirkland that was known for power.
Willie D, a former pro and now commentator, broke down the fight in detail. He noted that Canelo Alvarez is younger than Terence Crawford, which can matter greatly in boxing. Willie D also highlighted Canelo's height advantage, letting him manage distance and control the pace. He stressed that age and size are more than numbers. They influence reflexes, recovery, and how well a boxer takes hits. Willie D believes Crawford would be at several disadvantages even before skill is considered, making this a huge challenge.
It's 34. Bud is 37. So you give that edge to Canelo because in boxing, youth is a commodity. Height. Canelo is 5 feet 7.5 inches tall. Terence Crawford is 5 feet 8 inches tall. So you give the slight edge to Terence Crawford right there. The reach. Canelo is 70.5 inches tall. Terence Crawford is 74 inches tall, which gives him an almost 4-inch reach advantage. Their weight, Canelo is a middleweight and Bud is a lightweight middleweight. Records. Canelo is 63-2-2, 39 knockouts. Bud is 41-0. with 31 knockouts. Canelo's last fight was a victory over William Skull. It was a unanimous decision on May 3rd, 2025. Bud last entered the ring on August 3rd, 2024, where he defeated Israel Madrimov.
John Ryder, who has fought Canelo Alvarez, gave an honest view of a potential Canelo versus Crawford fight using his own experience. Ryder said Canelo's style uses constant but careful pressure, slowly wearing opponents down both physically and mentally. He explained that Canelo's strength comes not only from power, but also from keeping a steady, controlling rhythm. Ryder noted that even determined and skilled fighters can find it hard to keep up when every exchange feels draining. He doubts Crawford's sharp skills alone could handle that over 12 rounds, saying Canelo's mix of strength, pressure, and big fight experience can overwhelm him.
I think you just got to watch the Bivol blueprint, the in and out. I mean, a lot of fighters getting stick now for being runners, Tom and Jerry and whatnot. But stick to what you're good at. Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. He's won titles through the weights, undisputed at, was it 3 weights now? And listen, if anyone can do it, it's him. I think the weight will be too much of an issue. Canelo is a special talent. And I think the weight will play a factor in the fight. But listen, Canelo once done it and made the step up to super middleweight. I would like Crawford to be more at light middle and middle to build into it, but you take these opportunities when they come, and that's what greatness is, chasing it.
Yeah, and I've heard that before. Like some people said if you see him at 154, he fought a Madrimov, and you saw how much he got touched. Obviously, it's 2 different fighters, but why do you think he should probably? You think he should have probably taken another fight, maybe at 160 or maybe another one at 168?
He needs to build into it a bit. I think the fight with Madrimov was his first fight at
154.
At 154, and listen, he's still developing and growing into that weight. He could have done with a couple more there, then moved up to 160, but it's all being done as a bit of a rush. So he's not going to be fully. He's not going to have time to put the muscle on to build into the weight, and he's obviously going to do it with the intention of getting back down to 154 and taking on other challenges. So it's not a long-term goal for him to stay there, but like I say, Terence Crawford is an exceptional talent. I remember watching him beat a good friend of mine, Ricky Burns, and it's like since that day I was just, my ears pricked up and I took notice, and every time Terence Crawford boxed, I watched.
While most opinions favor Canelo, Coach Anthony gave a more careful take. He agreed Canelo is naturally bigger and more experienced at higher weights. A warn not to overlook Terence Crawford. Anthony said Crawford's high fight IQ, stance switching, and timing could cause unique problems. He argued that while Canelo has faced many top fighters, Crawford's blend of angles, timing, and killer instinct makes him a real danger. Anthony believes counting Crawford out entirely would be wrong, because his skill set could still create chances against even a top champion like Canelo.
Okay, but we have to break some things down into perspective here. First and foremost, Terence Crawford is a very strong 147 pounder. He's not a regular guy. He's not a regular 147 pounder. Another thing is, he's an extremely determined fighter. That guy's a winner. He's cut from the same cloth as the Andre Wards, the Floyd Mayweathers. You only get certain fighters that come across in a decade that have that kind of aura and that kind of determination to win. Now, if we want to break it down fundamentally, don't get me wrong. Canelo is a strong fighter. You know, he's proven himself. He got a great chin. He's fought some of the best fighters that you can ask for. But he's not that much bigger if you ask me. They're about the same size and height. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a little bit wider. He's a little bit, thicker, right? Like, as far as his frame goes. But we got to be honest here, man. He's not that. It's not like we're fighting Benavidez here, okay? We're fighting a guy that he can still get his jab off. He can still use his footwork. He can still use his defense to go ahead and evade some of these punches. You know what I mean? So for me, Terence Crawford is going to be, if Canelo goes in there and underestimates Crawford's strength, that could be a mistake, okay? It only takes a few pounds of pressure to hurt a guy. You don't need to be that big of a guy to hurt a guy. So, at the end of the day, Crawford is a threat as well if Canelo goes in there and overestimates his weight and his size. I've seen bigger guys get knocked out by smaller guys in the gym all the time with headgear on and 16-ounce gloves. So we have to just take a few things into account when it comes to that.
Who's your pick for this huge fight? Share your thoughts in the comments section below.